Hi everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. I got a bunch of questions regarding uh, comments, so I'm going to consolidate them into one big video and podcast. Uh, so if you're part of this, cool. If not, uh, hopefully you'll pick this up. Anyways, here's the questions. I don't know. We got one, two, three, four, five, maybe six in there. Okay, so let's go through this. Hi, Brian. Would you talk a little about automated arbitrage trading? What tools Dukas Copy can set up rules for triangular arbitrage, and what tools exist for cryptocurrency arbitrage? Also related in arbitrage, can you talk a bit about the mechanics of a inter-exchange arbitrage trades? Do these tools move money between accounts to trade on different exchanges, or are you limited to trading pairs as offered by a single broker? I don't know. It sounds like this is specifically for forex. It can work in. This is from a Facebook person. This can work typically in stocks. That's where it comes from. I've experimented with it. It's no different than what I'm experiencing with forex trading. It can and cannot work. But the stock market's a lot more predictable if you're using the value chain to predict trends or macroeconomic data. Whereas if it's forex, if you haven't been watching my videos, I'm not going to go over this in detail, but I will say that the markets in the forex just seems to be very random. I just put up a half-an-hour video explaining it, so watch that. As for triangular arbitrage, I've tried that. I've known people to try it. Unless you're working at a large institution like, let's say, BlackRock, I think these triangular arbitrage is useless for retail traders. It's a pretty tough trick. Now, you mentioned cryptocurrency arbitrage. You could probably try it in a project or a framework like CCXT in Python, but there is some definite arbitrage between the exchanges. So that does exist. I've seen that happen. I've seen some other projects that specialize in that. I think it's called Blackbird's one of them. I just did a video on that. Let me just see here. Let me just see if I can find it. So if you go to my channel here at Quant Labs, if you look up a project or video with the word Blackbird,
let me show you
I would
some
probably
financial market analysis
recommend. There's one specific project in Gecko, or sorry, that does specialize in arbitrage. So the video is called "Which Bitcoin Cryptocurrency Bot Project Gecko versus CCXT versus Tribeca versus Blackbird." So watch that video to get more specific answers. Can this be done across exchanges? We actually talked about that in my Telegram group, because you're swapping money around with the commission fees, again, unless you have a large account where you can easily offset the transaction costs, so the commission costs from your broker, you may be able to pull it off, but just this sort of stuff is tough to do. Not worth it if you have a tiny account. Okay, another question was regarding my courses. Again, with my redesigned website here, the Quant Labs courses, he was looking for specific courses on my interactive brokers. I do have a course that is here on my Shopify at quantlabs.store. It's a sample of a 4.5-hour video of what we go through on the interactive brokers. It's pretty cheap. Well, it was cheap. It's going to go up. Actually, no. That actually may come down. I don't know. But I do have an entire elite subscription, which includes this topic, among others, the Python and new and upcoming videos that will be part of my elite annual subscription for programming. That right now I'm going to increase to about 2,800, but it's going to eventually go up to a lot more because of the programming stuff in there. And that's for an annual of whatever I put in will go into that subscription. So if you got further questions, let me know. Okay, here's one from somebody on my meetup group. This is an interesting topic. Just so everybody knows, today is Monday, January 8th. Over the weekend, I did have a sale for my Shopify product. Specifically, if you come to this site, as I said here, quantlabs.store, I do have some Shopify digital product, mostly videos and video collection. So I have two of them. One on Dukas Copy API development for algo trading, and Dukas Copy Visual J4X for non-programming to do algo forex trading. So this is what this query is about. Happy New Year! Just RSVP for tomorrow's meetup. That's tonight, face-to-face here in Toronto. Just to let you know, I went over the J4X tutorials from Duke and also a couple of your intro from the playlist, as well as the manual. We can probably chat tomorrow more in person about this, but here's some feedback. This is what's valuable for me. All these tutorials delve straight into the technical part of the platform without a proper intro or overview. I'm not able to see the flow or get into the full picture from end to end. Okay, so what this person's referring to is trying to understand forex trading. It's assumed that if you're going to get into these type of video courses, that you have some knowledge in overall forex trading. Most people end up using tools and brokers that support MetaTrader. I've played enough with MetaTrader and realized that I wouldn't bet real money on MetaTrader just due to the questionable backdoors that a lot of brokers get access to on the server end when you're using the client edition of MetaTrader. So that's something I'm not personally comfortable with. But again, I always say it's not my money. So I would probably go with something a little more foolproof with J4X. You could probably say the same thing about Dukas Copy, but Dukas Copy at least claim that they're a true ECNs. They try to stay out of the market making and all that nonsense about stop loss hunting and all that. So with this kind of comment, you will need to start at some point about forex trading. That's why I still recommend to go with this tool, because at least if you notice in one of my videos in the Dukas Copy playlist on my channel, you will know that when I go through that visual J4X, that you have the ability to get access to 4,000 samples, and some of them will be contest winners. So working off of those in reverse engineering or reverse engineer, you can find out what works and what doesn't work. But from the experience I've had for the last, let's say, couple of weeks trying to develop my own strategy or automated bot or strategy for J4X, which could be applied to any broker, really. There's just a lot of random moving parts, which is tough to control and just say, oh, well, here's how you overall trade from Forex from a high level. The only way to really understand it is just to get your feet wet, get your hands dirty, and just start developing, programming, visually and experimenting things and see what happens and try to figure out why. Because it's very tough to say that there's an end-to-end way of trading outside of learning the lingo. But I would probably recommend some other books if you want to learn about Forex trading. And there's tons and tons of resources out there. Just I don't know what's really good. And that's how I learned about Forex trading, was just getting my hands dirty and experimenting with the results of my trading ideas and automating them. And that's how you really learn. Piece by piece. So continuing along, I'm new to Forex trading and have been going through other intro tutorials on YouTube. Right now, I don't know how to start or know what strategy to use or build. All these tutorials seem to assume that users are knowledgeable in Forex. Is that right? Yeah, that's correct. But here's the problem. There may be some dummies to Forex trading might be a good place to start and really high level. But it is true that you're correct that assuming that people know about Forex trading and that they have certain knowledge. Again, the best way is to always just dig in and try to understand what you're doing with some sort of little trading idea, or maybe go, in this case, if you're going to stick with Duca's Copy, go with the Duca's Copy blogs and look for contest winners and look for a trading idea that may win and understand why it's winning and why it's losing. Because once you start looking at the data and why it's not working in your favor, you start to dig deep and understand it. That's what I'm doing right now. You'll learn more about forex trading than nothing else. The best way to learn by actually doing. I wouldn't mind buying your tutorials if it helps newbies like me, new to forex trade. I just want to make, there's no J there. To forex trading strategies, or do you remember any other forex tutorials I should go through before using Duca's Copy? If I was to look for any videos, like I said, I'd be like forex trading for dummies. I mean, not saying you're a dummy, but you know the series, right? So here you go, currency trading for dummies. Just go with that, or any of these simple books. That's what they're really meant for, and go through one of these. I think that's probably the easiest way to go about it, and then build from there. But you're right that there's not really a lot of high-level introductory courses. There may be, but I think one of these should be good enough to get you started. Okay, so getting into more advanced stuff. Okay, so I have here some video comments. Let me just make sure. Boom, boom. Okay, so let's go over some video comments. Now, it's tough for me to individually respond to these.
Hi everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. I was trying to look for another project.
Okay, so this is a video I put out about a month ago, or early or mid November 20th, 2017, last year. Let's check it out. So one of the queries was this: complete noob to terminal. Can you provide clear instructions before installing? When I paste git terminal window, do I need to install before installing Gecko? I already have Node.js. Okay, so again, I don't think this is the best video to start with to build Gecko. This is just to one of the trading bots for cryptocurrency. This is really meant just to kind of like an overview, and just experimenting with it. It's not a bad little project, but I got another video that goes over other cryptocurrency bots. I'm going to tell you which one I want, but I wouldn't. There's so many videos out there on how to install Gecko. I mean, just go to YouTube and YouTube how to install Gecko. Okay, like here you go. I don't know what your operating system, but as simple as that. There are solutions. Okay, next one. Well, okay, this is a good question. We got another video here. This is the one on the different projects I mentioned earlier.
Hey, Brian here from Quant.
Yeah. Okay, so we have here. Wow, this is so slow. Here we go. Got comments coming in. Okay, so this video, as I said, was to compare cryptocurrency bot projects, Gecko, CCXT, Tribeca, and Blackbird. And the question, first there was a reference of how CCXT is not a trading bot. That's correct. It's a framework. Everything else is kind of like a bot or a project, and I go through that in this video. Not only that, but this video, this is a programming question. It's a framework. CCXT is a framework, so somebody asked, can you expand? That's definitely something new to programming. Think of it as a trading library of APIs and whatnot, not a specific tool to build out a bot. Plain and simple. Hopefully that makes sense. What is, okay, so we already established that. Let me see here. Okay, so we got a general comment about interactive brokers. Okay, let's go through this. Interactive Brokers is a great exchange. Their API is pretty straightforward. I was thinking about FX and crypto. FX is small percent changes that are highly leveraged, which you control, which means more randomness and less profit with the potential for devastating losses. Totally agree. Crypto is a bullish sector where you could have literally bought everything and made triple returns in the last 6 months. Totally agree again. But let's admit it, that could be an anomaly. We don't know if that will ever have that. It's a new asset trading class, so we don't know. Plus, there's talk of regulation now coming in crypto. So these days may never come back. We don't know. And with no leverage, so losses are restricted to each trade, and at worst, you might have a 66% loss on one trade. But the upside is multiple of the loss potential. In most cases, this skews the probability distribution in a way that makes profit less risky. True, assuming that everything goes up and it will always go up. But what I'm finding with crypto is it's now coming really right down to, like penny stock trading. And that there's a big reason why people don't do that. But I'm hoping that's not the case. I still want to get into it on my next step. But as it stands right now, forex trading, that's 4 trillion traded a day, and it gets more and more. And the other thing is that it's recessionary proof. So if you're trading stocks, you wouldn't want to be in the stock market during recession times. If you got more down than up. But I will say forex trading is probably the hardest out there. But if you've seen some of my past videos, you can get monster trades. There's no doubt about it. But what I'm trying to do with my system is to be able to minimize the losing trades. And the actual fact is to actually eliminate them. It's turning into a trend following system, basically. All right, so let's continue. You can ask your quant PhD about that, but pretty sure that is the case. Maybe. I feel like my trades have room to fly and less likely to crash and take out my account along with them. Leverage trades drag down your account if they go south. My trades are all one-to-one, so don't affect my trading account outside of the trade itself, and it's very likely to go to zero. Very unlikely to go to zero. Okay, this one-to-one I agree with on the leverage. With the forex trading, I will try to do that. Again, if you watch my videos, there are some monster profitable trades that if I got 1 or 2 of those a day, I'd be pretty happy using no leverage. So I would watch those long videos. Let me see if I did highlight that one earlier in another video today. But let me just go
Brian
through
here
this.
From
Yeah. Oh boy, let's see.
Hey there.
Okay, the videos I'm referring to are these long ones. This long way to maximize losses. Let's see, way to. Let's see here. Come on. Way to minimize losses but maximize huge trades with your automated forex trading. That's what I'm referring to. So you want to watch that if you kind of want to know what I'm talking about here. The gains can be 100% in a day. Well, you could kind of get that. Well, not quite with forex trading, but the idea you can get some nice big ones. Leverage. The gains can be 100% in a day. That's unregulated again, right? So if the crypto gets regulated, or again, the other assumption is that you're using, how shall I say, questionable exchanges. I'm not here to argue about crypto or against it, but always remember, try to withdraw from your account. If you are on a schlocky exchange and you can't get your money out, that's a problem. But whereas if you're with a more regulated broker like Interactive Brokers, you don't even question that. You are getting your money back. So always factor that in. But no doubt that there is these 100% moves and doubling. But you could also get the same thing with options as well. And again, that can be done within your Interactive Brokers account. So there's less risk there as opposed to keeping a large cash stash in these questionable unregulated exchanges for crypto. So let me just repeat: the gains can be 100% in a day, which would be similar to 101 leverage in FX, but without the downside losing more than the trade if it goes against you. And again, worst case would be 50 to 60% loss maybe of just one trade amount. Of course, you can adjust to your risk appetite. Just saying, buddy, this is a hot sector for now. I am sure the US government, deep state, and banksters will find a way to rob the people eventually. Yes, I think I said that earlier. Totally agree. But we don't know. Last year in 2017 may be an anomaly that, wow, you would be considered lucky to be part of. Let me continue here. Okay, so this person wants to be part of my S&P trading, futures or day trading, swing trading, like to be part of it. I don't know what this is, to be honest, but let me just try it out. Some of these, you got to be very careful with the amount of spam and whatever else is out there. So this could be a bot crap group. I don't know. Anyways, so that's pretty well everything for this Q&A, I guess. Hopefully I've answered everybody so far. It's going to be less time to be able to do this unless you're a member of mine. But I thought I'd just take the courtesy at this point to address all this. All right, hopefully I'll help you out later.